Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. Hour 2, quarter number 2, kick it off right now. Thanks for making us a part of your starts on this Monday morning. Hopefully you all had a fantastic weekend. We spent the first hour talking all baseball, talking all Brewers after a great weekend for the Brew Crew, sweeping the Yankees. Miz was amazing Friday night. Walk-off edition both Saturday and Sunday. Sacrifice fly on Saturday by Contreras, and then a home run by Bryce Terang yesterday. Yeah, we'll get back to some more baseball talk for sure. If you had to give a game ball to somebody from the Brewers this past weekend, I'm gonna hold you to one. Okay, just one. Who you giving it to? All right, who you giving it to? So we got that. Continue to send me your VFW post 305 best and worst from the weekend. All right, you can hit me up on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line with a quick text at 715-830-1912, or you can chime in on the Section 105 chat room on our YouTube live video stream. I want to open up this hour. We did have a little bit of a Friday news dump by the Green Bay Packers. Packers releasing Brandon McManus, and the Packers have apparently designated this as a post-June 1st designation, which will save the Packers more money on the salary cap in 2026, but it does push some of the dead money to the 2027. It'll create about $2.6 million in cap space in 2026 and accelerate the let's just round it, 2.67 in dead money to the 2026 salary cap, and push 1.7 to the 27 salary cap. So the Packers, with this designation, by the way, will carry the full 5.3 cap number on the salary cap through June 1st. But without it, the Packers would have immediately created about 4.3 in dead money on the 2026 cap. So essentially, so couple things that pop out to me with this. And now, I think as soon as Green Bay traded up in draft to go get a kicker, I think the writing was on the wall that Brandon McManus' time was probably done as a Packer, unless Trey Smacks really struggled in preseason and training camp, and then they go to McManus. The other part I do wonder was there a little bit of a nudging from McManus's camp to say, okay, we know that the writing is on the wall here. We would like to, explore some potential opportunities. Maybe try to find another job before training camp opens. Now, I haven't seen anything that's official based off that, but it would make a ton of sense. Now, so here's the one thing where it gives me a little bit, not completely, but there is a little bit of a flashback to when the Packers drafted Anders Carlson. And they brought in Carlson and didn't have competition for him in camp. And I know that was a topic of discussion. That was a debate. That was something that we threw out there where some fans wanted the Packers to bring in a veteran kicker to kind of mentor the younger guy, to have a little bit of a competition with him. Green Bay didn't do that, and I'm not saying that's why Anders didn't work out for Green Bay, but you have some people that believe that, and they'll point to that. Well, now with no McManus, it's similar in that aspect. However, Green Bay does have Lucas Haversick still on the roster. So, I mean, they're, as of right now, I mean, he's been in the league. Obviously, he's kicked in at the NFL level. But I think Lucas also, Lucas has a leg and such, but I think we kind of know that he's probably not going to be the starting kicker. And he probably knows his role. So maybe there isn't that weird kind of mojo that potentially could have been there between McManus and Trey Smacks. There isn't that weird kind of like, the rookie's coming in, hey, I'm here to take your job, and I'm probably going to take your job, and then you got the veteran that's got a little bit. It's natural. It's human emotions and such, but, so Green Bay still has another kicker that has spent some time in the league, that has kicked in at the NFL level, has kicked in NFL games, that Lucas probably knows the role. Maybe they keep him on as the practice squad and such, still keep him aboard of that. But he can help mentor the younger guy throughout training camp and preseason and such, and maybe even to the regular season as a special or a practice squad member. So it is a little bit similar that he won't have an established veteran, like a well-established veteran, but at least Smack will have some sort of veteran to work with in camp, which I think, to me, is beneficial. I think it's beneficial for a rookie kicker to come in and to have another veteran on the staff, maybe just to kind of watch how they prepare, whether it's a preseason game, how they prepare for a game, how they prepare for practice, how they go about their business, what are they doing on the sidelines during the game, just to kind of emulate that stuff. Timing-wise, it's a little bit different, from the college game in that. Even like going to maybe a little bit of the swirling winds in Lambeau that we always hear about. Well, Lucas has kicked there a little bit, so he can kind of provide a little bit of that feedback instead of just Smack going in with no idea. So I get it. I totally get it that, okay, you're moving on from McManus. We already kind of knew the writing was on the wall, but at least Green Bay has another kicker on the roster that has spent some time in Green Bay, that has kicked at the NFL level, that can provide a little bit of that veteran mentorship. Because I do think that's beneficial for somebody like Trey Smacks. But, again, we'll find out this week, too. It's NFL schedule release week. Thursday, the schedule will be released, and we'll hit that up more when we get to Thursday and that. But in case you missed a little bit earlier, each day they're going to announce some games, some of the primetime games, some of their big matchups and such, and they've already announced the first Sunday Night Football game for Sunday, September 13th, and surprise, surprise, it's the Giants hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Haven't heard that one before. But there was a rumor going on the past few days that it could be the Packers could have an international game this year, and it could be in Paris going up against the Saints. That's something that's been running around, at least on social media, for the last few days. So I feel like that would be one that would be announced before Thursday, but don't quote me on that. So, and it would not count as a Packers home game because that would be a Saints home game. So anybody freaking out or worrying, is that counting for a Packers home game? That is a Saints home game. And I think that would be the only option left on the table for Green Bay to have an international game this year. So, but maybe when we get to Thursday, give you a heads up on some homework assignments, and you don't have to be a Packers fan. You could do it for your favorite team if you'd like. Maybe give me some predictions when it comes to the schedule and such. All right, let's take a quick break. I do want to switch gears here for just a skosh and talk a little hoops because we know where the Bucs are drafting now. We know where they're at. They're going to be at number 10. Does that change the offseason plans when it comes to Giannis or roster construction and such? Or maybe it doesn't. Who are some potential options for players to be drafted at that spot? Let's go through it. All right, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these quick words. Sunshine, road trips, summer adventures, hey, they're calling, but is your vehicle ready? At AJM Automotive in Eau Claire, they'll make sure that you hit the road with confidence. From AC checks and oil changes to brakes and full inspections, AJM Automotive has you covered before the heat kicks in. With 2 convenient Eau Claire locations, expert service is right around the corner. Don't let car trouble slow down your summer plans. Schedule your appointment today by visiting ajmautomotiveservices.com. AJM Automotive, keeping you cool, safe, and road trip ready all summer long. All right, so switching gears here for just a quick minute or two, but the Bucks, we had the NBA draft lottery yesterday, and the Bucks ended up getting the 10th overall pick. So they will be selecting, as of right now, number 10. And a popular, if you're kind of wondering, and I get it, it's not the NFL draft, okay, where we know how many players. Okay, I get it. I totally understand it. And I'm in the same boat as a lot of you. So, but I did kind of like, okay, so who's a potential option for the Bucks at that spot? Give me some breakdowns, NBA draft peeps out there, and a name that keeps popping up for the Bucks at number 10 is Nate Amends from Tennessee. You're talking about a 6'10" player, forward. It says, I'm just reading a little bit from ESPN, so I've seen ESPN mock that. I've seen Yahoo Sports mock this player, but it says the Bucks desperately need backcourt help, but should be thinking best available considering the uncertainty around the team's trajectory and with ownership wanting clarity on Giannis's future by draft night. While they don't control their own picks over the next few seasons, they could still be operating with a longer view if they opt to part ways with their franchise player. While Nate's stock has slipped from early top 5 projection, he had productive stretches this season within a tricky team context and has room to help himself in workouts. Although scouts are split on whether he has star potential or projects better as a long-term supporting player, there is still plenty of intrigue around him in the lottery. As a tall, skilled player with shot-making upside, he fits a player archetype that teams often love to swing on. As Milwaukee considers a post-Giannis future, a malleable upside swing such as Nate could be a fit. So that is a guy, that is a player that I've seen mocked a few times to the Bucks. Now CBS Sports has the same one. So I mean, he is a very, very, very popular pick. The biggest thing that kind of seems to be projected out there is maybe a boomer bust type of pick. He's got a ton of potential. As they mentioned, thought of formerly as a top 5 lottery pick, but has gone down a little bit. Kind of, as CBS Sports here says, a polarizing prospect with a wide range of outcomes on draft night. He's a late-blooming 6'10" combo forward who is fluid, has touch and skill, inconsistent, needs to get stronger. So, the thing is, too, I think when it comes to the Bucks, looking at some potential mock drafts might be pointless until we figure out the Giannis situation. Until we finally find out what is the Giannis situation. Because that is going to determine, I think, a lot of these picks. Now, if Giannis stays, do they draft Nate? Maybe they still do. But maybe they don't. Maybe if a guy like Braden, the shooting guard from Arizona, is on there, maybe they go with a 2 guard. Maybe they go with a big. You know, so the Giannis situation is going to determine a lot of different things. And then the fact, too, that if they do trade Giannis, they're probably going to have a high pick, too. Or at least another first-rounder for this year. So it's kind of, you know, I'm looking at them just to kind of see if they stand around at 10. Where are a lot of people? And right now, it's a wide majority are going with Nate from Tennessee here. But It'll change quite a bit if Giannis is traded. Now, will Giannis be traded? We don't know yet. We got a month left. But he's still in Milwaukee, apparently. He's still hanging around town. He ain't in Greece. He was spotted at the Milwaukee Zoo this past weekend. So he's still in town. Does that mean anything in terms of working something out with ownership and the front office? That I don't know. It is Giannis watch, so I get it. There is a lot of wondering and speculation and, well, if he's around town, does that mean that they're working on a trade, or is he, working on maybe a new deal that will be announced in October? And I don't know. Maybe or maybe not. Okay? Who knows at this point? It's pretty tight-lipped. And I don't even know if his kids are school age right now, but I know they started off the season as Greek. So I don't even know. But we'll find out by next month. We'll find out sooner rather than later. The NBA playoffs continue to roll along, and the T-Wolves picked up a nice win yesterday, a big win to even up that series against the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama got ejected, tossed, but 114-109 victory to even up that series at 2 apiece. The Knicks cruised to a sweep over the 76ers, so the 76ers taking down Boston, but then they get swept by the New York Knickerbockers. So the Knicks, they're going to have a little bit of a breather here because even though we've got a Detroit and Cleveland game tonight, nobody's going to be moving on. Detroit does lead that series at 2-1, but Knicks might be a little well-rested before they play game one of their Eastern Conference Finals. Now, OKC, they could also be moving on here. They're up 3-0 in their series against the Lakers, and that game is also on the docket for tonight. So if OKC wins, they will move on to the Western Conference Finals, where they will play the winner between Minnesota and San Antonio. Stanley Cup playoffs are also going on. And yesterday we had a couple games, Buffalo and Montreal. Montreal leads that series right now 2-1 after Montreal picked up a 6-2 victory yesterday. The Golden Knights and Anaheim, the Ducks. Anaheim picking up a 4-3 victory to tie up that series at 2 apiece. We only got one game tonight, but it's a big one for a lot of fans in our area, in our listening area. The Wild, they're back at home taking on Colorado. They're looking to even up this series. Colorado still holds a 2-1 series lead, but Minnesota could tie it up with a win tonight. Can they do it? We shall see. But all right, we got to take a quick break here in just a few minutes. Send me your best and worst, your VFW Post 305, best and worst from the weekend. C-Bomb's got an interesting question. Dallas, Atlanta, Minnesota home games. Are you talking Green Bay home games now? Dallas, Atlanta, Minnesota home games. Which of those three would you want to see in December? Good question. I might go. I'll take Atlanta off the board. If Atlanta's early on in the season, you got a new coaching staff coming in, and I know Kevin Stefanski's got head coaching experience and such, but maybe a little bit of an adjustment period. So I'll take Atlanta off. Dallas has a new defensive coordinator, first-time defensive coordinator, too. So would you rather play them early on as they maybe kind of go through some adjustments and fine-tuning? Minnesota has a new quarterback coming over and Kyler Murray. So on the flip side, we can also ask, right, T-Bone, we can also ask it this way. Which of those teams would you maybe rather play early because they've got some new pieces, new coaches, if that matters a lot? That's why I liked playing Detroit week one last year, because they had two new coordinators just to kind of get at them right away. All right, well, let's ponder that. You didn't throw Miami in there, dude. They play Miami, too. right, at Lambeau. So Malik Willis, Green Bay South coming. Let's take a quick break. Back with plenty more coming up after these few words. Summer is nearly here, and that means it's time to get outdoors, make some memories, and be ready for whatever the season brings. That's where Tilden Gun comes on in. Whether you're gearing up for maybe some target practice or heading to the range or preparing for your next outdoor adventure, Tilden Gun has the selection and expertise to get you set up right. From firearms and ammunition to accessories and safety gear, they've got everything that you need, all backed by a knowledgeable service that you could trust. At Tilden Gun, it's not just about what you buy, it's about making sure that you feel confident, informed, and ready every single time you head on out. So this summer, don't just enjoy the outdoors. Be prepared for it. Stop by Tilden Gun today and see why they are a trusted name for shooters and outdoor enthusiasts alike. All right, so the Brew Crew again, off day today. I think every team, and if my memory serves me correct, every team in the NL Central has the off day today. But in case you are just wondering if this is something that you pay attention to, MLB.com has their latest power rankings up. Number 1 is the Cubs. They move up from 4 to 1. Brewers coming in at number 6. So they moved up a couple spots. They were at 8. And they're right up. One really can't talk enough about what Jacob Misiorowski was able to do in his first start against the Yankees this weekend. He struck out 11, topped out at a sizzling 103.6 while throwing the 7 fastest fastballs for a starter in the pitch tracking area and was this close. 1 pitch away from an immaculate inning. I kept looking up at the velo after every pitch as he got deep, Sal Frelick said. I couldn't believe it. The thing is, too, I think there's this assumption, and I think it's a very safe assumption, he's going to continue to get better and better and better. I mean, this guy is sick. He's not human. It's like Rocky IV almost. But it's the opposite. Like when Duke is telling Rocky, you see, he's not a machine. He's a man. Jacob Misiorowski's a machine, though, right now. I mean, he's an alien. He is a whatever you want to call it. Mutant. It's just, wow, that unbelievable. Unbelievable. And you look at this team. Jacob Misiorowski, Bryce Terang, Wild Bill Contreras, Jackson Chirio, Christian Yelich when he comes back. This is, again, I think, and I know we're just a couple days away from the conclusion of just the first quarter, and there's a lot of baseball left to be played. I understand that. But, man, this is a dangerous team again. It's a team that is, okay, you look at the Yankees this past weekend, a lot of star players, right? A lot of name players, a lot of good players, a lot of good all across the board, pitching, offense. They hit a ton of home runs and such. And then you just have this Brewers team. I don't want to call them misfits because I think they're just kind of maybe some underappreciated stars. Bryce Terang, even though he was on Team USA at the World Baseball Classic and, he balled out and he was awesome. Right now, he's probably not the starter in the All-Star game if we want to get way ahead of ourselves. It's probably Nico Horner. Why? Nico Horner is a really good player, too. Okay, this is not taking anything away from Nico Horner at all. And if you want to say that Nico Horner is having a better season than Terang, go for it. But I'll just say right now he's hitting 278, 4 home runs, and 28 RBIs. But he plays for the Cubbies, and he's got a big contract, so he's already got the name power. He's got the star power there. But put some dang respect on Bryce Terang's name. I'm talking to the national peeps out there, all right? Put some dang respect on Mr. Bryce Terang and what he is able to do and what he is able to provide. This guy is so much fun to watch. And I just, again, he has now moved into Sal Frelick territory for me as my favorite ball player to watch. Because of how they go about their business, how they play the game. Not all showboaty, me. I mean, Bryce Terang just looks like this calm, cool, collected guy. It's such a joy to watch him play. It's so fun to watch this guy play baseball. He's not the biggest dude out there, but man, what he's displayed with some power and such. And I love his story, his trajectory of when he first came into this league and his continuing evolution of getting just better and better. The defense has always been there. The defense has always been his calling card. But you go back to his rookie year. I was a little surprised. A lot of people were a little surprised, like, oh, he made the team out of camp. There was some talk like, okay, he would probably make it, be called up at some point, but he made it at camp. And he struggled offensively. Got sent back down, got called back up, but he struggled his rookie year. Second year, got a new manager in Pat Murphy. Pat Murphy kind of pretty much laid it out to him, said, we're going to give you a chance to hit off of left-handed hitters or pitchers, and if you can't, maybe, you're going to be benched against that, or just I don't know if I want to say ultimatum, but it gave him a chance, empowered him. And boy, Terang not only rewarded that by just hitting better off of left-handed pitchers, but just overall from an offensive standpoint. I think the ultimate compliment that you can give any athlete, especially a pro athlete, I think any time that you can say to your kid or to younger kids, watch that guy play, that to me is one of the ultimate compliments that I think any athlete can get, is if somebody tells a bunch of kids, watch that guy play. Watch how he does this. Watch how he goes about his business. Watch how he handles himself, or however you want to phrase it. I love watching Bryce Terang play. I love watching Sal Frelick play. Two dudes that are going to go I know this is one of the phrases that kind of bugs me in the world of sports, that, give it 100%. Gets overdone, overplayed, and all that. But you don't have to worry about that with those two guys. Every time they step onto the field, you don't have to worry about that. And I don't want to get into a debate or a topic. I saw somebody kind of floating this out on social media yesterday. Is Terang the most irreplaceable player on this roster right now? And I don't think for a team like the Brewers, that's almost an impossible one. Sure, you can make the case for it, but I could also make the case for Contreras. What he does offensively, but how he handles the pitching staff. You can make the case for Mizorowski. I think you can make the case for a lot of people. And the offense has kind of looked a little bit better with Jackson Churio in the lineup and just kind of solidifying it a little bit more. I think the Brewers are a little bit of a different team where it's not just one player, or one player is going to completely turn this thing on its, upside down on its head. It's a fun team to watch again this year. And a lot of that credit goes to the players, but a lot of that credit goes to Matt Arnold and Pat Murphy. And Pat Murphy will be the first one to tell you it's not him. It's the players. But he gives these players, he empowers them. And I remember Craig Counsell made a quote. I think it was his first year with the Cubs. And it was that might have been leading up to their first matchup. But, Council gave Murphy a lot of credit in terms of, like players and developing that. And he name dropped Bryce Terang as being that example. So one has to wonder. I mean, you look at the parallels, right? How much has Pat Murphy meant to Bryce Terang's resurgence or surgence from the offensive side of things? Maybe not a lot. And I think Pat Murphy would probably say that he doesn't deserve any, he himself doesn't deserve any of it, that there wasn't anything that he really did. It was all on the player. I think Murphy would probably say that. But you look at this, and maybe it was just a little boost of confidence from the manager to the player that has gotten Bryce Terang to develop into the type of player that he is right now. So that was awesome. What a fantastic game. I like this nickname. Is this what we're going to call you? Big Daddy Crush from the 715. Awesome weekend, Brew Crew. That's why we watch. Right? That's the beauty about baseball, too. Mark says, Brewers game ball to Contreras. He manages the defense, calls the game, and handles all those young pitchers, then seems to always come up with a big hit. He is the leader of the band, straw that stirs the drink, etc., etc. We got a few more going. Miz for game ball. Another Miz from Josh. Jeff going Miz. We've got Chris going with Terang. Travis going with Terang. And Mike also going with Miz. So it seems like Miz is the leader in the clubhouse so far. Again, I don't think there is a right or wrong answer in this thing. So, all right, we got to take a quick break as we start to wrap up the second quarter and head into halftime, believe it or not. Already cruising through on this Monday morning. We'll take a quick break and be right back in just a couple minutes. Summer is almost here, and that means it is time to freshen up your home from the ground up with the help from our good friends at Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Whether you are hosting backyard get-togethers, opening the doors to some family and friends, or you're just ready for a seasonal refresh, new flooring can completely transform your space. From soft, comfortable carpet to durable luxury vinyl planks, Carpet City Flooring Center has everything you need to bring your vision to life. And it's not just about the looks. It's about quality that you can count on and expert guidance every step of the way. Their team is ready to help you find the perfect fit for your style, your needs, and your budget. So before summer officially kicks off, make sure that your home is ready to shine. Stop on into Carpet City Flooring Center today and make that first step towards a space that you will love all season long. All right, we only got about, what do we got? 7 minutes left to the top of the hour, 7-ish minutes left to the top of the hour. So plenty more baseball talk to get our way, or coming our way here. So send me your VFW Post 305 best and worst from the weekend. All right, best and worst from the weekend. Send them on over. Text it. 715-830-1912. Also, you can join in on the Section 105 chat room. So we'll get to some more of those responses. We'll do a little Glory Days brought to you by Summer Jam coming up a little bit later on. We've got some local sports roundup brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center. I know just in a couple of hours we'll find out if the Blue Gold softball team will be making the national tournament. So another best of the weekend, too. I'll throw this out there. Speaking of softball, how about Badger women's softball making the national tournament Division I first time since 2022? So shout out to the Badger women's softball team getting back to the big dance. So that's another best of the weekend, too. So I'm trying to think what would be like the worst from the weekend. I guess if you're maybe a diehard Bucks fan that you're hoping for a little bit of a higher pick in the draft lottery, maybe odds weren't that great anyways, but maybe that's where we're at. So, but if you got something, send it on over. All right, send it on over. But We'll get back to a little more football talk. Brandon McManus is out. So long or so much for that preseason training camp kicking battle that we were going to have between a rookie and a long-time established veteran. Packers still have another kicker on the roster and such, but we'll maybe hit that up as we're going to find out the full-on schedule Thursday. Some games have already been announced, like big matchups or primetime games and that. So if anything Packers-related pops up or drops, I'll let you know in the next couple of hours from now. But that'll be on Thursday, so you can plan your falls and winters around the NFL schedule. But we'll talk more about that when we get to Thursday, like what do you look for, what are the games you're looking forward to, what's some of the things that you look at and such. So we'll revisit that a little bit later on in the week and that too. So, but what else do we got on the docket here? We got a couple more texts to catch up. Game ball goes to Terang for his walk-off home run and just overall play from this past weekend. Another game ball goes to Jacob Mizorowski. It says, Ben, that dude was amazing to watch on Friday night. So, yeah, I know we just had that conversation last week about Mizorowski and Ace and that, but if you want to call it rose-colored glasses for me, I think I might be ready to put that crown on him. Maybe I need to give it a couple more days here and relax. That was a fantastic series. Fantastic series against the Yankees. Pitching, offense, man. Did we get a new role for Chad Patrick? I want to hit that up coming up in the next hour. Maybe a little bit of a glimpse of what Chad Patrick is going to be doing here for the Brewers going forward. Maybe got a little bit of a glimpse from that this past weekend. Aaron Ashby continues to just roll too, man. Aaron Ashby continues to just ball out. I don't know if Chad Patrick kind of goes in the pen and you throw Aaron Ashby's already in there. D.L. Hall has been solid. I don't know what the plan is for Jared Koenig, whatever he does come back, but I mean, you got some guys in there in that pen that can give you a couple of innings and go back-to-back days and such that, man, that gives you some versatility and such. I mean, Druin getting the 3-inning save too. I mean, there's some uniqueness. I don't know if that's the right word to describe it. Some great versatility with this Brewers bullpen. So I want to talk a little bit about this pen coming up in the next hour here too, because, man, they kind of get overshadowed a little bit because of the likes of a Mizorowski or a Kyle Harrison and some of the other starters. But, man, there's some dudes. There is some legit dudes in this Brewers bullpen that I think if you hand the ball to them with a lead, it's going to be very hard to come by opposing teams to get those W's. Won't be perfect. It's not going to be 100% perfect. Nothing ever is, but some of those guys deserve our tip of the caps too for the performances that they've been putting up. So, but again, we'll hit that up coming up in the next hour. Hey, don't forget, sign up now, your two-person team for the Casper Classic. I got to update the spots for our 10 a.m. team, but we're getting really close to closing down the 10 a.m. tee time slot. We still have some availability for the 7:30 tee time slots and the 1 p.m. tee time slot. So if you want to get your two-person team in, August 7th. All right, Friday, August 7th at Lake Helly Golf Course. Make sure you get your team signed up to participate, to partake in that thing. All right, if you're interested in maybe being a whole sponsor or maybe even donating something for a raffle prize, because all proceeds go to Backyard Dreams, reach out. We'll put you in touch with the people that you should be chatting with. So. But big thanks to Myron Construction, Hy-Vee, VFW Post 305, Window World, Superior Auto Body for already signing up to be partners for our 6th annual Casper Classic. Already the 6th annual. Can you believe it? Man. So, all right, shot clock's going to cut me off here in a few seconds. So it is halftime. We got some news updates. And we'll be back to kick off the third hour in just a couple minutes. We'll get back to some more baseball talk and throw a little football talk and some hoops talk in there too. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes.